pre-show, but we are in G1 versus Luminosity on the Bravo stream. Let's get it. Luminosity coming into the scene as a last-second addition. You'll notice these players, Latin American players from the Mexico region, top seed of Mexico, going up against G1.
Yeah, you might recognize some former Pittsburgh Knights players now repping the banner of Luminosity. So we hop on board here with Atzo. Looking to stay alive on that Overshield side. Overshield is up, and he's got the heat wave to work with. That could be one nasty kit combination. But it's a 2v1 push from Suspector and company, which takes down Atzo. But that Overshield's still up. 3 down for G1. This is looking likely for Luminosity. Both teams focusing here. No teams scoring points. Both teams instead focusing on that Overshield, Garrett. And it goes in favor of Luminosity, it looks like. Not quite exactly sure, though.
Yeah, G1 get the heat wave and the Overshield and now have access to the hill. Luminosity, I don't know about that play from G1. I feel like you have to commit to one or the other.
Yeah.
They fell in, half out, but they never went towards that hill, and they're getting punished. Look at the position that Luminosity has on the map. They have all of the tertiary spawns in their control, spotting them all the way out. But, I mean, yeah, G1. The Slayers are in. Suspector's leading the charge. He's ready to find some kills and break on in.
Yeah, you had a Noble go down on dummy side. You had Suspector push in and take back control of that nest. Because of those anchor points flipping into possession of G1, you now see the scoring reflect that as well. As Suspector looking to maintain here. He's got help here, pushing it into A. This is a 1v2 that you cannot trade out if you're G1, but Suspector goes down. Talking about that a little bit, that objective or kill-death efficiency here. Not quite there for G1 because of it. They barely have this narrow lead over Luminosity.
All right, both Overshield coming up. Falcated has the opening lane. Overshield going to go into the hands of his teammate, Sab, and he holds on to it for as long as possible. So although time is going in favor of Luminosity, Sab has all of the tools necessary to find this break. He gets the opening one, and while the rest, he's coming and he's knocking. Let's see what Sab can do in the backup B. I don't think he needs to do anything. Look, his teammates are just getting all the kills.
And he didn't even need to play as the distraction there. No focus or attention was on Sab. Despite that, still having some of that Overshield to work with. Misses the skill jump, so he's going to elect to just flank back River. And you know what? I like this. We saw this in the first series, Garrett. I love when you have Overshield. You have the counter in your hand as well with that Plasma Pistol, negating any possibility for a full depletion of that Overshield. As G1 looking to put a full round of time on the hill. This one's just about tied. Both these two teams needing a few seconds to earn this first hill.
Love that coordination from Luminosity. All three of them peeking that corner at the same time. They get the job done, but the onslaught is here. The rest of G1 are trying to break in time, but time is running out. They've stopped the hill for now, but the kills need to go in favor of G1 if they want to finish this. Drift staying alive, but booping Suspector up is not enough. The break is in. G1 stopping Luminosity and taking over this hill.
3-4 going down for Luminosity, and G1 with only bubu dubu alive clutches up, earns themselves this first hill. Hold on, Drift with a close spawn, but it's not going to be close enough as G1 earns that first hill. And what's important to note because of that team wipe, Garrett, that Luminosity is not going to have the early rotation on hill number 2. Instead, it's G1 set up, looking strong.
Yeah, everything goes right for bubu dubu right there. He stays alive. He sees that his teammates spawn at tower. They had everything in their hand, but Luminosity finds the break soon enough, and it's going to be up to Big Bubu to get the break once again, trying to hide and wait for his teammates, and here comes the charge. G1 for the break.
Bubu Dubu using that repulsor, trying to get a look at the top tower. Instead, it's back River. He spots Drift, and it's another 3 down for Luminosity on the respawn. All going to be spawning at A here. Maybe even garage door. No, not with Bubu Dubu pushing out. They're going to spawn left because of it. Bubu Dubu now with a pinch potential.
Look at how aggressive Bubu Dubu's in the back of these players at Luminosity. They're pushing for it. They do not care about these spawns at the moment, being hyper aggressive. And this is the reason why G1 is so good at King of the Hill. Their strongest game type with an 80% win percentage. And you can see how confident and how aggressive they like to play this game.
Yeah, it's wild. G1, the only team here at HCS Charlotte with a significantly better win rate on those King of the Hills. The only team actually with a higher than 50% win rate. That is unbelievable. King of the Hill, a toss-up for most teams, but it's G1's best game type. And I go back to Worlds, Garrett, where in that Fnatic series where they ended up ultimately losing that game 5, that game one, King of the Hill on live fire, they won 4-0 in 4 minutes. So expecting to see a little bit more of the same here from G1 as they look to go up 2-0.
Atzo's an important player here, right? Last alive, but he wants to stay forward on the map and give Luminosity a chance to still find that break, but I think he might have to think twice about this. With next hill coming up, it's better to get back for the rotate. They're going to have to change plans. And what's interesting is G1's decide to capture that hill. A lot of teams leave a little bit early and try to gain that timing to get to hill.
Yeah, you leave one in the hill and start to kind of filter out and rotate towards that next hill. We didn't see any of that, though, from G1 as they're not looking to play any bait. All gas, all push here. Atzo, though, with teamwork from Drift, takes down bubu dubu, but it's Falcated cleaning up that player. The push is on from Ace Sandbags for G1, but Garrett, Luminosity seems to have a good setup here, a good hold, as they've nearly reached the halfway mark on this hill.
Heat waves in, Noble gets the kill. Noble's trying to give him a rotate towards that overshield, and although they get the overshield, it comes at a massive cost. Everyone goes down and Hill switched hands, but look at these staggered spawns from Luminosity. They've essentially created a pinch off a 3-up spawn, and they're going to be able to fight back to G1 right away. The overshield enough to get into this hill, but not enough to hold off these superstars from G1.
That's a great answer back with the overshield and snipe in the hands of Luminosity. Most importantly, in the hands of Luminosity, that halfway mark on the hill. You have to imagine a spree or a well-timed push or play with that overshield could have brought them back to within one. Now they're having to fight for their life and fight back for that hill, which is right now being controlled by Falcated.
Still plenty of time for Luminosity to create a push, but not if you're going to have Falcated get doubles like that. Picks up the sniper as his reward. And what I don't like from Luminosity right there is they're 2-2 split on the map, but they're not coordinating their efforts at the same time.
Yeah, you can get bad spawns, Garrett, right, where you spawn out from your teammate, but as long as you give that calm right away, the instant you spawn, I spawned out, we could potentially pinch. You got to be in the comms quickly. I don't know if Luminosity is picking up on that split spawn and the odd opportunity that sometimes presents.
Right, look, it's the exact opposite just happens for G1. They were split, but they coordinated their efforts. Sab got behind too, gets an easy double kill, and although it doesn't result in a clean wipe, they make it as hard for Luminosity as possible, and because of how much time Sab was able to buy, Falcated and the rest are ready to fight right away. This hill is awfully close to going to Luminosity, but Falcated has one more chance at stopping it, but not in time.
Oh, speaking of time, Garrett, 2 minutes left on the clock. If G1 goes up 3-0, it could be over. Instead, we have a one-hill game with less than 2 to go. 3 down for each side. This one's going to be a full reset.
A great kill by Noble. That's going to keep the A spawns. Overshield going to be so important. He wants to get there as fast as possible, but he's not quick enough. The overshield goes to Falcated, and bubu dubu cleans up the rest. Look at G1 collapsing. Luminosity isn't safe.
The 2-for-1 win there for Falcated, earning his team the overshield and that ever-important hill time in a tightly contested match. Just as it looked like, Garrett, G1 potentially going up 3-0 on their way to what they hope is a 3-0 win in this series, but no. Luminosity putting up quite the fight.
Well, it's down Falc trying to stay alive, and look at those spike grenades, the heat wave with the follow-up. This is Luminosity's chance to find the break, but they need to win the slays. So far, it's trade for trade, and bubu dubu works carefully over at the screens, working with his teammate in that hill to bait and switch, and the heat wave allows him to push forward by himself. G1 with the break, and that's what's been so impressive, is their ability to break these hills.
Yeah, G1 playing great defense and almost using great defense as a great offense as they look to put the finishing touches on that fourth hill. 3-1 advantage for G1 at a moment in time, Garrett, where it looked a little mixy, looked a little sketchy for G1. Instead, now regaining full control with the double kill snipe headshot from Suspector. Looking for the third, isn't going to land the shot, but boy, whoop, was that one for the highlight reel.
There's nothing sussy about Suspector. The way he moves that sniper, it's everything you want to see in your star player. And Suspector really under the radar. G1 takes the bet on him, and they have not looked back. This has been such an impressive performance for them, and I think it's going to continue on. Falcated's going to fall. That sniper reaches top tower. Someone will pick it up, but Luminosity running out of time.
Speaking of time, Garrett, look at this. G1, I'm not sure if that was just to maintain a little bit of map control and some angles, but they've got just as much time in this hill as Luminosity. Usually with a 2-1 lead with just 1 to go, you see teams elect to play for Team Slayer. Curious to see if that's what G1's plan is going to be for the rest of this game.
Yeah, I think you do play the Slayer here. Yes, you can win the game in 45 seconds if G1 gets a powerful spawn, but because you have that hill buffer, you can waste as much time on this hill and then set up for next, and you're going to win 90% of the time.
Yeah, especially with that hill, the mosh pit hill currently. So hard to maintain even 5 to 10 seconds of continuous hill time. And that's really the key, is the second you step out of that hill is the second that the clock starts dwindling down for Luminosity. 34 seconds left. Suspector in the hill, but I have to imagine, again, this is just to get angles on A. He's probably going to jump out here. There he goes. Out of the hill, Suspector now pushing into A. It's a 3 down, looking for 4 here as G1 looks to put the finishing touches on game 1.
Yeah, Atzo's going to do his best, but I mean, this is such a dominating position. Essentially a line through the middle of the map, and all of Luminosity spawning at B. Time is running out, and Suspector's closing the door. Sab gets 2, and Noble's hiding in the back of B, knowing that their chances at game 1 are done.
Yeah, this one with 3, 2, 1 is going to be done and dusted. G1 takes game 1, looking good in their tournament start here, as this is their first series of the day. This one for me, Garrett, this is like this reminds me of the NA Super going into Orlando. Yeah, G1 with that incredible online performance, taking top 2. Parallel that to the qualifiers where they got top 3, but then they got top 8 on LAN at Orlando. Is that same kind of finish in store for G1, or do they match the online performance that we've seen from them for the better part of the last year?
I think G1 has the most potential to perform on LAN that we've ever seen, and I think this is the perfect combination of building around your star player, right? Bubu dubu. He doesn't have the most impressive kill to death ratio, but look at the assists. Oh my god,
he had 23 assists.
23 assists. That's what bubu dubu thrives in. It's when you pair him with great slayers that he can just be where he needs to be.
Yeah. Definitely.
Here we go. We're back in it. Game 2 on its way. Luminosity has to recover, but G1, the star power that this roster has, it's going to be so tough to bring them down.
Yeah, and on that opening rocket grab, looks like G1 really prioritizing the rockets over the slays you needed to gain control of that power weapons. As we see Falcated and Bubu Dubu both going down. Rockets still a contention point in the middle of the map, and those are going to go in favor of Luminosity instead. Those are going to be the key to a good start here for the underdog.
Oh, Falc waiting in the back. A rocket awaits him, but no connection. Luckily, I cannot believe that second one got Sab.
That was wild.
Yeah, honestly, it looked a little bit away, but Luminosity keeping up, but that was really in part of the Rockets. Now they're out of the power weapons, and they have to find a way to break into G1 setup.
G1 looking pretty icy here on Slayer Street. 73% win rate. And 2 of their most recent matches were wins against Optic and Sentinels of the 50-46 and 50-45 variety. So G1 in a situation where they're going up against the underdog, likely primed to maybe take a game 2, but despite that, this one's still looking favorable for G1. Sab with that top heavens control. Bubu Dubu with the stalker. That's the opening break that's going to send all members of G1 pushing forward, but Drift has Sab's back and he goes down, but it's 3 down for Luminosity.
Yeah, that's a tough spot for both teams, right? G1 was trying to counterbalance into purple as Sab was trying to bait players towards B. And we see kind of 2 fights go down on the map, and it ends up in equal trades, but you've essentially flipped control of the map. Now Luminosity has control of A, and G1 has to find the break in, and they're surging together at Cafe, and there's nowhere you can hide from this man in particular. The Bulldog, it barks loud, and he's looking to find any target.
Falcated down to no shields. We're going to want to keep that shotgun possession in his team's favor, but just like that, 2-3 going down for G1. Sab, last member alive. Rockets are up. Surprised we didn't see that instant shot from Atzo because of the delay in that rocket. Falcated stays alive, keeps his life, and now the Rockets might even go into the hands of G1 as well.
Yeah, sometimes the plays you make, it doesn't matter about the kill that you get, but rather the impact you had on the map, right? Foul was last alive, was able to shoot that rocket player, made him waste the rocket, and eventually it falls down, and it gives G1 an opportunity to surge back into this map, and that's exactly what they take. Little mistakes like that from Luminosity are going to turn into a massive lead. The Noble kind of nasty with the strafe right there. You got to put put that one in the highlight reel.
Crowd strafe working there for Noble, but Luminosity going to have to find a little bit more in their bag to come back in this one. Down a team wipe. Now down 6, so more than a team wipe possession. More than one possession separating these two teams. If Bubu Dubu can continue to pop off with that shotgun, the spread might get even further.
Yeah, Bubu Dubu just hanging away in the back. And, well, look at his team pushing forward without him. He's going to be the trailer behind. He's making sure he can pick up any rebound. None needed, though. They jam it home. And he's already working on the backcourt, getting into the defensive position.
And just like that, a 2-possession game, 8 slays, 2 team wipes. Separating these two teams. Luminosity got to find an answer, and you got to find the answer now at the midway mark, but no. 2 going down for Luminosity. This is full map control for G1.
Yeah, I feel like Bubu's been alive for ages. He's 8-2 right now, and Luminosity just have not been able to put the finishing touches in. Even while one shot taking these bullets, and finally Drift finds him, but that was a shotgun that was in play forever for G1, and Luminosity, it's going to take them a long time to recover. Really, we're seeing that massive run that G1 went on because of Bubu Dubu not just getting kills, but staying alive.
And this is a really big developing sequence here for G1, Garrett. Of the top 4 seeded teams going into this tournament, G1 has the least amount of 3-0s. And I think that's really important because when you look at the layers and levels to this high level of gameplay, you've got to 3-0 the teams that you should be 3-0ing. G1 has not been able to do that online. Can they find the answer on LAN? So far, so good.
Drop shields down. Bubu Dubu wants it all. He's going to come forward. There's 1, 2, not going to connect, but already that separation we're seeing in this scoreline, it's a mountain that looks like Everest. I don't think Luminosity has it in them to climb up to these heights.
Mount Everest, maybe Mount Kilimanjaro, is Luminosity seemingly needing a Kilimanjaro to have any chance of coming back in this game. Down 13. Drift pushing up through mid. Doesn't spot any team shots, no angles, no really options or opportunities. There it is. There's a shotgun. And that's going to be a big grab. A lot of G1 at the back of C here, which I think favors shotgun. Can they make the well-timed push? No, Drift is instead going to rotate over to here to B. Interesting play. Let's see what he does here with the shotty.
Sweep to the left. Don't get too impatient. You have to check your corners. And, well, Drift was patient enough, but the revamp is there for Bubu Dubu. He's able to reslay, grab his rightful weapon, but not put it to work. Atzo is going to be able to stay alive. And that's the first thing. That's the first power weapon I think we've really seen fall into the hands of Luminosity. Sub the Rockets, right? Rockets, we've seen a couple from Luminosity, but when it comes to the red gun,
the real power weapons,
to the shotgun on this, the stuff that's more available, right? We just seen G1 dominate that possession.
And that's one of the reasons I said during the qualifiers, I'd rather have Stalker shotgun than even Rockets. One of the big reasons why is because max efficiency with Rockets is what, 4 kills? And you got to get 2 collaterals with that. It's just not likely. Instead, with that full clip in the shotgun and Stalker, what, if you had a perfect efficiency with it, you're looking at maybe like 10 to 15 kills. So it seems to me like the math adds up as to why you would rather have those 2 weapons in your hand as opposed to the Rockets. And when you're wasting them like that, it makes sense.
Yeah, multiple rockets we've seen from Luminosity that just don't result in kills. This one goes 0 for 2. And when you need a massive comeback, you need those rockets to propel yourself forward. Hiding in the back of music is Bubu Dubu, and while the music stops, Drift's going to be able to get that kill. Suspector's up next. LG surging forward. The problem is this too late? You only have 4 deaths until this game is over. Can you make this comeback a reality?
Yeah, it has a little bit of that feeling of too little, too late, but we're going to hold our breath. We're not going to count these guys out just yet until that final score reaches the 50 mark. As Bullet spots Suspector in Cafe, and that 2v1 opportunity, didn't even need to take advantage of the 2v1, is going to take Suspector down, but just like that, Luminosity loses their favor. G1 with 1 more kill needed to take game 2. And it looks like it should come in right here, but no, Bubu Dubu gonna have to back up. Noble with a kill, there we go. Suspector trading out, that's all G1 needed as they move on for a comfortable, fairly easy win in game 2.
Yeah, and it's, Luminosity had a great run towards the end of that game, and it looked like they're going to have real opportunities. It's just the little mistakes, right? It felt like a game that was lost by by the death of paper cuts, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like there was one thing to really point out that went wrong for Luminosity. We can talk about not picking up the shotgun, not using the red gun as effectively as G1, but you can use those rockets to break into those power positions. Rockets wasted away, not able to clean up their collapses, letting players like Falcated stay alive and make huge impact plays when he's last alive, right?
Yeah.
That's where G1, when they smell blood, they swarm, they get the full wipe, they're ready to play next.
Yeah, and Luminosity really had to take advantage of that opening break where it almost looked like G1 desperated for Rockets. They weren't playing for Slays. They went down in Slays, went down in the early game. Rockets went into favor of, I believe, Drift and Luminosity, but just like was the case at the end where we saw that one rocket go into the wall, just nothing going, nothing working as it related to the Rockets there for Luminosity because of it. Not able to get those 2, 3, 6 kills that they really needed to make it a close game.
Yeah, that's no, I was thinking at the end, I was like, man, Luminosity's starting to run together. They're getting these kills, and it happened off screen, but G1, while they're feeling the pressure on one side, they're clutching up on the other, right? It was I think it was Sav and Suspector who were working together to find the breaks towards PD and stop the comeback. But I think it just shows that there's potential with these Mexican teams. Like they are good enough. The talent's there to do some real damage in the open bracket and in pool play and in champ bracket. But we just haven't seen that execution in Season 1, and I think we're failing to see it again in Season 2. I really want to see these Mexican teams do better, and I think the talent's there. I just think maybe it's repetitions, maybe it just needs a little bit more.
Yeah, you wonder about that because you would assume that, I know one of the biggest challenges for EU is that you don't get scrims with the likes of Optic or G1, Sentinels, FaZe, anything like that. But for Mexico, you have to imagine you could probably scrim on central servers at the very least. So
I think they do scrim pretty often against not pro. Like I don't think they get scrims against like Optic.
I think that's it right there.
But they do get scrims against top 18.
Because whether you're a player that's just picking up the controller for the first time, or you're a vet like Frosty or Ryanu, the best way to get better at Halo or any game is to play against better opponents, play against better competition. You start to learn the ebbs and flows of what works for them, what they're doing right. Then you start to copy pasta it, and then as you perform and you get better at the game individually and as a team, you can start to put your own twist on it. You can start to put your own philosophy on it. And I just think for Mexico, for EU, and for ANZ, that's right where they're on the cusp of, or what they're on the edge of, and they need to break through.
ANZ, yeah, it's like I just want to see better performances from the international teams, and I think we saw the start of that. Navi, and Quadrant
it looked like maybe
really good.
Maybe it happened.
Yeah, and it's like Navi taking a game off FaZe, like that's great stuff to see happen. And I think it's a shame that Chick wasn't able to arrive. And I think that's
what ended up happening with because we know Native Red got bumped out of pools. Whatever ended up happening with Quadrant.
Two Foxy is their coach, so it's like not the same.
Because he's technically on the roster and it's a substitute. Okay, well,
I don't know. I haven't seen the exact ruling yet, but unfortunate for that Native Red roster. Fortunate for TSS. But here we are, Game 3. We're going to the pit. And so far, it's been G1 that got possession of the power weapons, but Atzo is trying to make the best out of a bad situation, looking to get this kill on bubu dubu.
Yeah, Pit Slayer, it's like 50-50. People love it or hate it, but I think Pit CTF, Empyrean CTF, this is one of my favorite game types in the league. Just such a classic map. Perfect symmetry on either side as it's a perfect start here for Luminosity, that early flagpole, but Suspector looks to negate any opportunity of moving that any further forward.
Suspector drops down, tries to get the help. He'll be successful, but this flag is still out. And Bullet, he tries desperately to get it to the half line, but that's just not going to happen. And the rest of G1 are not going to let this flag get away from them. They're going to secure this return, but I like how Luminosity, I think they're giving up on this flag, and they're trying to really push towards Sword and use an opportunity to say, hey, if you're going to play for this return, we're going to take control of Sword and play for another pull.
And yeah, look what happened. 3 down for G1. Last member alive is bubu dubu. He's going to go down. A chance if Drift can stay alive to stagger spawns, but no, Falcated answers back and is holding down the fort at Snipe Tower. Now pushing up even a little bit further, landing enough damage on Drift to get him down to absolute, but he sneaks away with his life, but not for long. G1 doing a great job. And Garrett, you used the word desperate earlier. for that first flagpole for Luminosity. And that's kind of wild, right? Because it's the first 2 minutes of the match. But because of that 2-0 scoreboard, because of that disparity in the eye test, I think Luminosity's feeling the pressure.
Foul getting up, trying to get this kill. And I think this is the difference. I don't see any urgency from G1 to pull these flags. They're playing a game of Slayer right now. They're trying to establish their power positions, get the flow of this game down, and then, if a flag opportunity comes, they're going to take it, but they're in no hurry to take control of the base. They just want to make sure they're getting every kill possible. The game just becomes so much easier when you get these kills.
Pivotal decision-making moment in the match here as Rockets and Overshield are both up. Bubu Dubu grabs him, but trades out. Rockets now into the hand of Luminosity. Where's the Overshield? If you can grab both that, imagine a push on the right with Overshield flanking up the left. That'd be quite the pinch for Luminosity as they look to put to good use those Rockets. But no, it's the Overshield in favor of G1, and starting to see a little bit of disparity in those two power weapons and power-ups. You got to imagine maybe going for Overshield. The right move.
Yeah, I mean, getting Overshield, and then also the repulse, right? He repulsed the rocket away. And what's funny is he turned that corner as the rocket was coming to him. So that was like some fast reaction
Matrix
time,
Neo.
Right? And Suspector sends it back, doesn't hit, but it's going to be enough for them to start pushing forward. And Suspector is going to be the key player right here. If he can find a pick away from his team, they can surge on in, killing spree. But he gets traded out, and that might just be enough to stop this push.
G1 with the flag out, but a few kills in the feed for Luminosity, but it's Bubu Dubu swiping the head, protecting his teammate Falcated, who also has one shot in that sniper to work with, putting it to good use, landing the no-scope body melee on Drift, but he goes down as well. Now it's up to Bubu Dubu with the remaining use of that sniper rifle. Five in the clip. He's got plenty to work with. 4 down for Luminosity. Oh, they're going to get the back flag spawns and snipe spawns. So a little bit of a split here. Luminosity going to have to play their full teamwork if they want to get out of this one.
And Sav is methodical at the back of Needler there, though. He was the reason all this happened. Gave him that first double kill, and he's not trying to surge in right away. He's waiting for his teammates. Unfortunately, he goes down, but he bought enough time. Bubu Dubu cleans up the third, and Noble's going to go down as well. That's a clean wipe. Bullet tries to come off spawn, but it's another respawn. Bubu Dubu with the triple. Bubu Dubu with the overkill. He's able to knock them all down. This flag going home.
And look at the way Bubu Dubu works his way back to Mangler. That's to continue forcing those devastating spawn tramps at the snipe tower as Falcated and G1 finally able to put that flag in, and for Luminosity finally able to take down Bubu Dubu.
I mean, when it starts working for G1, it starts working. Everything has gone right. They're getting kill after kill, and these rockets look to be going to Bubu, and he's gonna put 2 down right away. Drift last alive, but they've given up the overshield on the other side, and suddenly the base of Luminosity is filled with red.
And that's what you want. If you're going to go down with Rockets, deplete the resources. That's a plus. That's a check mark. And take down 2 as well. So Bubu Dubu finding that full win condition with the Rockets, winning that numbers advantage, a +1 encounter. No Rocket resources left for Luminosity. A little bit of that stack and starve maybe strategy that we've seen in the Honda 1v1s. Bubu Dubu, the Honda 1v1 champion, so it would be no surprise to see some of those strategies making their way into 4v4. Sab, another one of the finalists from that Honda Fan Cup 1v1, pushing into the back of Luminosity's base, but he goes down. So here's a chance for Luminosity. Take down Falcated. They should be able to fight back for mid-map control, and with a 1-flag game, Garrett, they're still in it.
All right, they do all that work, but it's just to clear their base. They still have to finish the fight. They have to get through and break G1's base, and that's not going to happen. Sab says, you go high, I'll shoot higher. Able to get the kill. And dude, Sab's been a monster. He just can't die. He gets 2. Finally, the sniper adrift takes him down, but not before the rest of his team went to the respawn screen.
Yeah, Sab looking like the kind of player you got to start to focus on here, as he's got that 2.0 KD efficiency. Looking good here in this game. Approaching the final third of this match as Drift looks to put the finishing shots into the back of Suspector, takes him down. But the numbers advantage is still in G1's favor. Now 2-2 tie. No. Luminosity going 3 down as there's one sole survivor left.
Bubu dubu. Does he know about Bullet in the back of the base? Bullet can really make a play here if they don't know about him. But look at
it looks
G1.
like they do.
They are all going back to their base. They are aware that there's someone hiding in the back. But LG getting some much needed space. Luminosity is starting to get in control of this base. Look at all the blue players on the side of G1. Bubu dubu, he has to leave for now as his teammates are struggling to take down Luminosity, but he has a free overextend.
Free overextend, and there's that overshield.
Oh, no.
Back up. So very interesting here. Bubu dubu electing to take map control over control of that overshield. Rockets now going into the hands of Luminosity and Noble. Can they make a play and regain that side of the map, Garrett, that we haven't really seen them able to accomplish just yet here in this match? Suspector, again, it's deja vu. Rockets go into the hands of Luminosity, Overshield into the hands of G1, and it's Luminosity not really able to maximize that decision. Instead, it's G1 holding form.
He went so high. He gets the kill.
Repulsor off the lift.
AC 130 in the air. Bubu dubu gets the kill, and suddenly Luminosity, scared of the streak that's going to continue, the heat wave in the tower. He sends one off the map. The next is going to have to stay alive in tower, and a flag is away.
Falcated looking to put that insurance flag in. You have to imagine a 2-0 lead with 3.5 to go would make this one very comfortable for G1. Luminosity looking to put that final goal line stand defense on as they take down Falcated in the corner of Mangler. Bubu dubu rushing back, but he might have to get a couple slays here, Garrett. There's 4 up for G1. Oh, but he sneaks it in. 4 up for Luminosity, only 2 up for G1. Instead, it's Bubu dubu with the play that never shows up on the stat sheet. Always Bubu dubu, making the play that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. Instead, here, it's 1 on the board for the score.
And that's a hell of a follow-up from G1, right? Because you're talking about the number disparity. Luminosity have a real chance to counter cap, but it's shut down right away. And now Noble's struggling to stay alive in this back base, but his teammates are giving him much needed support. If he can stay alive just for a bit longer, this counter cap is still alive for Luminosity.
Oh, just barely not able to get around that corner. As the desperation we saw in the early game for Luminosity, really feeling it now. Down 2-0, 2.5 to go. Even in slays across the feed. So often it feels like we see 2 down for each squad, but no, now it's Luminosity going 3 down. That flag looking like a last-ditch effort as it will, in fact, return to the base as Bullet goes down.
Bubu dubu, he's licking his lips right now. He thinks he has another potential overkill. This sniper in a great position, but he's going to have to back down for now. He says, I'll get the overkill later. Suspector's in the base. Bubu dubu's lining them up. There's one. Where's the rest? Rockets up. This is, Bubu dubu, the restraint that he's showing right now, because he could be playing very aggressive with his sniper. He knows Luminosity's in their back base, but he's waiting for his teammates to be in the right spot.
Wild body shot, headshot cleanup to land there for Bubu dubu. As every kill now for G1 against Luminosity puts them closer and closer to a 3-0 sweep and a hot start to their season here. Is, like you said, Garrett, anything less than a top 3 finish, absolutely a disappointment here for G1, but they're looking like they're in top 3 form here.
3 players to the right is Sab. Sab has been phenomenal this game. Him and Bubu dubu combining for almost 50 kills, right? 45 kills between the two of them right now. And really, Luminosity are going to have nightmares of these two in their base tonight. They have just been an absolute terror to deal with. And Sab, he is staying forward. He hits the spawn nades, and he wants to finish these kills. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Sab with 2. He knew they were there. He executes on the shot. He's looking for a 3rd. Sab is unreal.
Wow, it is very rare that you see an individual performance like that, taking on 2 members of Luminosity like they were only 0.5. As Sab has that flag out. Suspector looking to make it a 3-0 match in a 3-0 series as he puts another one on the board.
Look at that. Suspector gets it in. This game is over. Mathematically impossible as G1 looks to increase the stat sheet just a little bit more. But it's so impressive. The duo of bubu, dubu, and Sab have been phenomenal. 26 kills apiece, as they are just both of them basically double positive in this game. Luminosity could not handle these two.
Yeah, and we talked about that key stat going into this series. G1, the worst of the top 4 seeded teams in relation to 3-0 series wins. These are those matches where you need to secure the 3-0. You cannot let a team like Luminosity hang around. G1, instead of where I feel like in the past they'd be going into a game 4 kind of sweating it, like, oh no, is the reverse sweep coming? Now they get to go back to the pro lounge, drink some Red Bull, maybe hydrate a little bit. So things looking a little different than where we left off for G1 at LAN.
You know what? I'll say as the new founder of G1, with the founder necklace of G1 on. I don't know if I'm on camera right now. If I am, you know,
I hope you are.
See the eyes. Good. I founded G1 with Kenny Vaccaro. I knew that this team was going to go the distance, as you can see by my studded out jewelry, that I never, you know, I told Bubu Dubu, this is your team. You know, I was a GM last year. I wanted to make sure that they could build the best team.
What it's like.
Bubu Dubu, this is your team. I'm going to pick up whoever you want to pick up.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's Bubu GM time, and he picked up his friends that he knew he could win a championship with, and so far they look championship ready.
Yeah, no, that's great insight from the owner and GM of G1 here.
Founding members, only founders have this beautiful necklace, and as you can see, it's, you know, I have it on.